Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're just setting up for today's event. We're now live streaming on YouTube and into various other places on the internet. We're going to give you a 30-second timer. That's your opportunity to invite anyone on that you can't see in the guest list now. So let's get live. Alrighty, for those people who don't speak fluent English, don't fret. We do have closed captions that you can read along with here in the Zoom room live now and on the playback on YouTube. Have a quick listen to this.
Por favor, vaya a la parte inferior de la pantalla en Zoom o YouTube y haga clic en subtítulos para leer en español.
Kérlek, menj a képernyő aljára, a Zoomon vagy a YouTube-on, a Closed Caption részre, és ott el tudod olvasni magyarul a feliratot.
Silakan klik di layar bawah pada Zoom atau YouTube dan klik caption untuk membaca dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Pour les sous-titres en français, veuillez cliquer au bas de votre écran Zoom ou YouTube sur CC ou Closed Captions.
Zoom または YouTube の画面の下部に移動し、字幕をクリックして日本語で読んでください。
請到屏幕底部點閱隱藏字幕以閱讀中文。
Παρακαλώ πηγαίνετε στο κάτω μέρος της οθόνης, στο Zoom ή στο YouTube και κάντε κλικ στους υπότιτλους για να τα διαβάσετε στα ελληνικά.
請到屏幕底部點擊隱藏字幕以閱讀中文.
אנא עברו לתחתית המסך בזום וביוטיוב ולחצו על תרגום לכתוביות בעברית.
Proszę zejść na dół ekranu na Zoomie lub YouTubie i kliknąć napisy, żeby przeczytać po polsku.
Beautiful. Welcome online, ladies and gentlemen. And so for those that are online right now, let me just change the speaking language to English and let everybody else in the room. So it's my pleasure today to be the MC for today's event. My name is Michael Firth, one of the founding Field Advisory Board members with Numi, based in the Sunshine Coast. And if you're wondering, we have not been hit by Cyclone Alfred yet. Put your prayers out there for everybody because I think it's going to be hitting pretty soon, sometime in the next 12 hours. So for those who are brand new online today, Noom is one of the fastest growing companies in the industry worldwide right now. We have a breakthrough product no one has anything remotely close to. And there are people logged on from Las Vegas, Canada, what have we got here? Jamaica, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, all over the world right now to hear from our founder, Steve Scott. If you don't know Steve Scott was behind the Total Gym. As one of the most respected people in direct response television with billions in sales. And then I met Steve 17 years ago when he was pioneering the research space into glutathione, which you'll probably hear a bit about today. Today's an opportunity for us. We have business events throughout the whole week, and then we get to this part of the week, and it's a beautiful opportunity for you to meet our founder and get to know him up close and personal. And so with that in mind, Steve's currently in the car, but he'll be in transit. He's going to have a chat to us from there. So Steve, if you want to unmute, and I'll hand the call to you.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Hello, everybody. I'm only a few minutes from my home. I kind of had a little emergency I had to attend to. A friend of ours, okay, now let's see which, okay. A very, very big influencer has had surgery, and I ran product over to him. And in the meantime, he had a big doctor, medical doctor, who is into a lot of wonderful new areas of medicine. And he had me tell him about the product and about our science. Well, needless to say, time went faster than I thought. And lo and behold, Michael calls me with one of his kind, hey, mate, our call. So here we are, and there is my sweet Newfoundland puppy, Nana. Nana, say hi to the crowd. Nana is 7 months old, and she's about pounds. They said she'll get to about 110, but she's a doll. She's very, very caring. You know what word is used to describe her that I've never seen used with a dog is the word empathetic. that's quite remarkable because that turns out exactly what she is. If there's adults get out of a car with a child, she runs past the adults straight to the child. They say you can't swim with a Newfoundland because they will instantly try to rescue you and will pull you to the side of the pool. Or Michael, in your case, she would swim out to you and pull you to shore. It's in their genes. It is not even though they're trained in life-saving, they're considered the #1 water dog in the world and lifesaver. They can pull 6 times their weight, but they have this built-in empathy for humans. We have never seen anything like it. She is so tender-hearted and just a doll for a puppy. And so now you know all about my dog, but this is what we call connect time. Once a month, I'm going to do this call every week that I'm in town. And I'm doing it for one reason, and that's to keep the connection with our Numi family worldwide. A lot of things are happening to us very fast and very good. Huge breakthroughs continue to come our way. We heard of a new breakthrough with our product today that was on the animal side. It was truly mind-boggling to the vets that saw it, and it was mind-boggling to the riders that were competing. And so that's very, very exciting. I've been in I've been in regular contact with the newest member of our medical board, which is a scientist from Greece. Oh, how I love scientists, because they're years ahead normally of where doctors are. The scientists discover it, then it gets tested and retested over a period of time. And about 10 or 15 years later, the doctors finally hear of it. And then another 5 years after that, the doctors start using it. So they're way ahead of time. Well, this scientist that joined our medical board recently from Greece, let's see if that opens. Hey, Dr. Sotiris, I want to say I always get it. Opolis, how's that? The last part of his name, Opolis. Wonderful man. And he has been looking at our product on how it impacts genetic expression for the markers of inflammation. He looks at 10 genes, 9 or 10, and what has been amazing, just 2 weeks on the product with the first people he looked at, or just 2 to 3 weeks, the markers that were high came back down to normal, and the markers that were low came up to normal. Figure that one out. And he's so excited about what he is seeing that on the phone today, as he was telling me the latest news on some of his clients, and I mean, they're mind-boggling. I can't even talk about them because they're medical issues, but they are such breakthroughs. And he is telling me how this is going to transform not just nutrition, forget that, medicine, medical practice, he believes. And he was amazing. And I got all teary-eyed. I got choked up, and I said, my dear brother, because this man loves God. I said, my dear brother, I said, I have spent the last 19 years of my life working on this, investing my life, time all over the world, away from my family. I have put millions of dollars. I have drawn down my life savings to support this. And all of that happened even before Numi. And he said, brother, this is such a breakthrough. You don't even have to worry about money. He said, this thing is so big, it's going to change life. It's already changed the lives of the people he's worked with. And I wish I could tell you about it. All I can say is get the product and use it, and you'll see it yourself. But what we saw today at an equestrian event, nobody has ever seen. Nobody. And it is a healthy outcome, a performance outcome. It is truly unbelievable. And the vet overseeing it he was beside himself. He was so excited. Christy Price may be on the line tonight. I know she's in the middle of her season, or the beginning of her season, so she might not be. But she was excited off the charts. And why is that important? Why is a 9,014-page study of horses on our product having all these amazing things happen? Why is that relevant? Because the same markers for oxidative stress, for inflammation, for all different aspects of a horse's health and performance are the same markers we look at for people. And if a little bit more of this, dosage-wise, is doing for animals that weigh 5 times what we weigh, 5 times the body mass, and yet a heart rate that is unbelievable. I had no idea. Their fast rate during competition can be from 180 beats per minute to 250 beats per minute. Our product highly impacts that in the most favorable way. That study at some point is going to be published. It's already been accepted for publication. And when that happens, all the news about what our product is and does really goes worldwide, because the magazine or the publication looking at it is a worldwide veterinary publication. And because it'll be copyrighted for veterinarians, I won't be able to share the study. I don't think many of you would want to read 9,014 pages anyway. But I'll be able to share in my own words some of the highlights from the 41-page summary called the abstract. How do we use all of this information? It's just validation of our science. Nobody has what we have. Michael's right. Like, there's my sweet girl. Nana, say hi to the folks. They all like you because you make Daddy so happy at 76 years old. This was a Christmas present. We hadn't had a dog for 2 years, and my wife and I decided we're in the stage of life, no more dogs. But she saw how much I miss dogs. I see them on the internet, and I just, it makes me miss them, because I've always had them from the time I was born. There were always dogs around. And so she got Nana for me, and she is an angel. Anyway, so many good things happening. So tonight is a Connect call. It's not a technology. Normally, once a month, I'll go through our technology, and we'll let you know our technology call, our science call, where we tell about our breakthrough, where we tell about the marvelous miracle molecule that's made by every cell in your body, but it declines by 10 to 15% per decade, called glutathione. It's your body's first line of defense in just about everything. Every cell, all 37 trillion of them, every tissue, every organ, your eyes, whoa, everything. Glutathione impacts your immune system. It impacts. And but it declines as we age. It declines due to various disease states as well. And injuries cause a temporary decline. And we have got a delivery method that makes us more effective, more efficient, I believe, than any other delivery form in the world, which is why we had one doctor in Miami who was getting, he's a surgeon, and he's performing surgery 14 hours a day, 5 days a week. He was doing 3 glutathione IVs a week at a cost of $300 each, $900 a month for glutathione. Somebody asked him to try our product, and he said, okay, I'll give it a try. So he went off his IV, went on our product, thinking he was going to see a big drop in his mental focus and his physical stamina. To the contrary, he saw a big lift. And the neat thing is, toward the end of his day, when he starts to lose focus, when he starts to lose the physical, he can swish again. He can't take a second IV, but he can swish because our dosage cost, our serving cost, is under $2 a serving. And but we won't talk about that tonight. Michael, if you're going to be so kind to host it, I'd like to spend the next 15, 20 minutes taking questions and answers from our sweet Numi family. And if we can open up, if you see questions, either tell them how you want to do that, whether it be the hand raise.
Good question. But what we'll do, because some questions, ladies and gentlemen, might be unique to an individual. They might be medical questions. We can't answer those because we're not a medical product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the chat so that if you want to type a question in, you can send it directly and it'll come directly to me only. And that way I can filter the questions. So feel free to type anything you want to do in. And Steve, why don't you hop out of the car, get into your house in the next couple of minutes, and I'll quickly kill some time by showing these guys where the medical advisory board is, and that'll give you an opportunity to get in. All right?
Yeah, it'll take me. Oops, I didn't drive in close enough. Let me do this again. I'm batching it tonight because my sweet wife is helping care for our grandkids. So I'm kind of parking a little crazy. Here we go.
You sort that. I'll give you a few minutes to go.
I got it.
Stuff inside. Okay.
Okay, it'll just be a minute. Thanks.
Beautiful. All right, guys. So what I'm going to show you for the brand new people who are on today, you heard Steve, and feel free to type your questions in the meantime while we just kill a couple of minutes, but we'll give you some real valuable information. So if you go to Numi.com and then you go up the top under About and click Medical Advisory Board. This is the most respected medical advisory board in the industry because all of these amazing scientists and doctors serve for free. None of them are getting paid. So there's no, questions about, sometimes during the last few years, people thought we should have had like NASCAR drivers, anyone recommending certain medical protocols in the last few years should have had all the sponsors they had on their tops because we knew that they weren't very independent. Whereas here, these guys are totally independent. And this is Dr. Nikolopoulos. That's how you pronounce it right there, which is fantastic. So that's the gentleman we was talking about a few minutes ago. So do yourself a favor and scroll through this and have a look at the amazing credentials of all these people worldwide that are giving feedback. This is one of our best buddies here in Australia, Dr. Dean Stubbs, Tanya Ash from Australia as well. Just amazing. So this is at your fingertips, and you can certainly use that as a credibility statement, if you like, of Numi, because we have technology that is things that nobody else has. No one else actually has. And as a result of that, we're seeing results that we've never seen before. And I've been involved in the glutathione space for now 17 years. And there isn't one delivery system in glutathione worldwide that comes anywhere close to it. I heard an amazing statement from a marketing guru in Australia many years ago. And he said, in business, if you want the edge, you're smarter to be different than better than your competitors. So we're not better, we're different. There's no one has a product with glutathione that gets under 10 nanometers that we can insert directly into a human cell. We're it. You can't hear it from anybody else. Now, in the questions, they're very quiet, Steve. So with that in mind, I'd encourage you guys. Oh, here we go. There's a great question there. Interesting. These are good questions, and I will feed these through to Steve in just one moment. He should be back on screen any second now. So when you're with us, Steve, just reach out and let me know, and I will. Oh, here he comes. He's going to be logging in as a different from his phone. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll bring him in as on his computer instead of his phone. It's just joining. Bear with me. And keep typing your questions in the meantime, if you could, please. That'd be great. Okay, Steve, I can see you there. Let me just make you a co-host on that one. And you should be able to unmute yourself on that one. Give it a try.
And I got to turn this down. There we go. Okay, Michael, we're good.
I'm going to put your other phone in the waiting room because it's going to echo.
Okay, I'd like to turn it off, but I don't know how. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, Steve is back. Now, in terms of questions, we have a question here. For the longest time, I've wanted to ask this question. How long would one have to swish to absorb every nanoparticle of glutathione contained in a serving cap of swish?
We don't know. I will tell you that world-class athletes, and you know how men are, will now double it for athletic men. You know, more is better. Our world record holder weightlifter who bench pressed 1,129.8 pounds at the age of 62, no steroids, drug-free, drug tested. He was swishing, honestly, when he started in 2018, he was swishing 7 minutes. And I said, Bill, that's overkill. He says, okay, I'll go down to 4. So he went down to 4 minutes. And I told him, I said, Bill, I don't think you need to swish that much. And he said, look, when you can bench press 900 pounds, that's what he was at the time, you tell me how you're doing it, because there he is. And Michael, let's show him what happened in his career, as long as you're here. So this was before swish. He set the world record at about 380 kilos. When he was 49, at 59, he was down to about 340 kilos. Then look what happened. He started swishing. Here we go. And he went up to 612 kilos, 1,129 pounds. That's the weight of a piano. That's 40% more weight than he was able to lift 13 years earlier in his prime. And people say, how can that be? Listen, when you reduce oxidative stress, now let me tell you something. Oxidative stress produces, free radicals produce oxidative stress, okay? Because they go unmitigated. And then the oxidative stress produces more free radicals. And then now you've got more free radicals, they produce more oxidative stress. It is a cycle that builds. Well, what the doctor and I from Greece today, Sotiris, we were discussing this because he's showing how we're changing the genetic expression of these genes. And what we're really doing, we believe, we're breaking that cycle. We're breaking the self-feeding cycle that gets worse and worse and worse. By dealing with the oxidative stress, we are reducing the free radical production, thereby reducing more oxidative stress there. So instead of recycling up, we think we might be cycling down. Not proven, don't ever claim that. By the way, Michael used the number 10 nanometers, don't ever claim that. We do not publish our size. All we say is that the pore in averages, your average cell in your body, you have 37.5 trillion of them, is 100 nanometers in diameter, and the pores in those cells average 10 nanometers. And we believe, based on a lot of things that I won't get into, that we are small enough to go through that pore. Nobody else can claim that. Any liposome, you can't get under 50 nanometers. In fact, liposomal delivery ranges from about 50 nanometers all the way to almost 900 nanometers. Okay, so I say do what works for you. I would say if you really want, I swish for about 3 minutes. When I wake up in the morning, I start swishing. The moment I wake up, I go into the bathroom. Before I go to the bathroom, before I do anything, I start swishing. I go through my routine. I stop swishing and hold it under my tongue when I'm putting in my contacts. Then I start swishing again. Then I jump in the shower and I'm still swishing. I love it. And you just rest anytime you want. It's not like you have to labor at this. And then it sits under my tongue when I'm shaving. Okay. Turn off the shower, get out, start to dry off, and I swallow. So I'm probably swishing around 3 or 4 minutes. I don't have to swish the rest of the day. Most people my age, 76, are swishing 3 and 4 times a day. If you've had an injury, if you've had an illness, if you're going through an illness, all those things raise the need for more glutathione. So if I'm about to get, there have been times when I started to get sick, I switched every hour. Every hour. One time I had something I didn't want. I was supposed to speak to 400 doctors the next day. I switched through the night every 2 hours. I set my little alarm on my phone for every 2 hours, and I switched through the night. I woke up in the morning feeling great. No symptoms, no coughing, just ready to go back and lecture the doctors that morning at 11:30. And then I had one lecture to the general session, and then I had 3 workshops I had to lecture in. Everything was great. So you accustom it. I know that's a general answer, but that's where we are right now.
A good one.
Great
Steve,
question,
next
Rob. Thank
question.
you.
The best next safe question. There's some questions in there we're not going to answer because of what they're saying, but are NUMMI products patented? Brilliant question.
Okay. Yes. We patent our formulas, not our technology, but the only way to reproduce our formulas is with our technology. You can take a little bit of glutathione, a little bit of all of our cofactors, put it in water, stir it up, but guess what? It's not going to do anything. Because for it to work, it has to be produced with our technology, which we protect with a trade secret. But all of our formulas so far fall under our patent that has been granted. Now we're waiting for the patent examiner will examine all of our claims. He'll ask about this one, that one, this one, that one. We'll answer. He may reduce the number of claims. He may say all your claims are okay. Usually a great patent will ask for more than the patent examiners are willing to get. So we'll probably lose a couple of our claims. Then it goes into a public period and is published for 90 days. After that, where anybody, any competitors can object to the claims or whatever. And that's called prosecuting the patent. And it's not a big deal. Every patent you have to do it. That's not the same as defending a patent. Defending a patent is when you violate my patent, I now go after you. That's a whole different story. And we don't expect that. Our technology is very well protected with our trade secret. So
beautiful. Now, Steve, another question. In this product, there is glutathione, but there's also cysteine, curcumin, and vitamin C. Why are the other 3 ingredients in the formula?
Okay. Vitamin C helps the cell accept more glutathione and process more glutathione. Cysteine, glutathione is a tripeptide. It's made out of 3 amino acids, cysteine, glycine, and glutamine or glutamic acid, however you want to call it. And the rate limiting factor, the one your body can't get enough of, is cysteine. Why? Cysteine is so fragile that the stomach breaks it, just like it breaks the glutathione molecule. That's why pills are worthless. Even when they're encapsulated with liposomes, that makes the particle too big. So does it do something? Yeah. Is it that effective, that efficient? Sorry. And cysteine has 2 contributing factors. Number 1, it's needed for the cell to make more glutathione because your cell's producing glutathione. But the half-life of a glutathione molecule in your body, once it's been manufactured, whether we put it there or your cell produced it, averages 90 minutes. Now, some cells are so active, for example, a heart cell. A heart cell has 2,500 little motors. Every cell, 2,500 little motors called mitochondria working in sync. Man has never made anything with 500 motors working in sync. Anybody that thinks all this happened by chance, I'm sorry, you're foolish. You're going to hear a lot of this from me, so you might, if it offends you, you might not want to be on my calls. But in reality, you'd have to be a fool to know what I know and think it just happened. Every cell in your body is more complex than the most complex machine ever built by mankind, which was the Saturn V rocket with its 5 boosters, 7.5 million pounds of thrust, stood 32 stories high, and its lunar launch vehicle and recovery, all of that, most complex machine ever built by mankind. And look at, that's what the inside of a cell looks like. And that's not getting the DNA, that's not getting everything that goes on at a genetic realm or at a DNA realm. And yet you can see all those things are active. They all have motion. None of them just sit there and receive. And glutathione is the protector of the cell. It is the first line of defense. It performs over 400 functions, which is why it's the most studied molecule in all of medicinal science. Over 190,000 published studies about glutathione in PubMed right now, which is more than all the other antioxidants combined. So my wife just asked me, why so many studies? Because they know it's the key to so many things. The biggest problem with glutathione has always been delivery. So cysteine is important for the cell to produce its glutathione, tripeptide. But here's the other thing. It recycles. It is the recycling agent of glutathione. You see, an antioxidant donates an electron to sequester a free radical. Now what does it do? All the other antioxidants are now done. They can do nothing. Glutathione recycles itself so it can get another free electron to donate, and another, and another, and another. And glutathione, if you have enough of it, can recycle vitamin C and vitamin E. But it's the only thing that can. And so cysteine is a critical role, and consequently, we simultaneously introduce both cysteine and glutathione into the cell. And the cell will use it any way that it is programmed to use it. You know, it may need it for momentary defense. It may need it for healing. It may need it for a whole bunch of different things. It's the sole protector of your immune cells. I was just telling this guy that I was with how fast your T cells and B cells, the assassins that attack the bacterial and viruses, how fast they reproduce is entirely dependent on the available glutathione. If you don't have available stores of glutathione, they reproduce slowly while the bacteria or virus is reproducing explosively. Guess who wins? The bacteria or virus. Guess who loses? You lose. On the other hand, if you have adequate sums of glutathione, it can reproduce fast enough to ultimately catch up and assassinate the virus and bacteria. So really critical. Do we have another question?
We have a really interesting one. Someone posted a statement, but I'll phrase it as a question because I know you'll want to address this to protect the company's longevity. I won't mention the person's name. They said, not a question, just want to add, I signed up a scientist in Australia who removed his liposomal product from and put on our product on his autism support website. Now, I know that will get us shut down. And so I want you to address why it's dangerous to put our products with any disease.
Okay. Yes. It actually won't get us shut down if he phrases it right. Right phrasing is glutathione is a critical defense mechanism for our cells. And it is a wonderful supplement. It's not a medicine. It doesn't treat, prevent, cure any disease state, including autism, but it supports a healthy immune system. It supports inflammation control so he can say things that disclaim it if he's going to post it. Just to say this is an autism site and this is a nutrition and everything else he posts is medicine, that could get us shut down. Do you see that, Michael?
Yep, spot on. I just typed a message to the person too, because they mentioned the doctor's name as a personal friend of mine as well.
Okay.
So all good. What else we got here? Someone's asking, this is a really good question too, because you've mentioned already that we have the product being used, and Christy logged on a minute ago, by the way, using for horses and so forth, but our product's not designed for horses. Someone is asking what dosage, yada, yada, yada. Want to address that one?
Yeah, we can't give that right now. What's going to happen, the study's going to come out. Once the study comes out, a veterinarian can recommend anything within the guidelines of that study. I know things that you don't know. And all I can say, any animal, including my cute little puppy, when she has a little bit of need, she doesn't need it right now because she is producing glutathione like popcorn in the popcorn machine. But what I would say, Christy Price is on. Can you open Christy's microphone?
Yep, well, actually, Christy, I'm not sure if you're in a position to turn on your mic, but let me see if you do that. I will bring you up on the screen, at least the microphone. And maybe the camera means I can bring you on screen, but she might be traveling for all I know.
No, I'm at a horse show, but I can talk. I just can't turn my camera on because there's kids here.
Okie dokie.
Okay. How's it going, Christy?
Well, I won, so great.
Okay. Are any other horses besides yours getting our product?
They are, but I can't talk about that publicly.
Okay, good. Don't talk about it. What would you like to say about horses that you can say publicly?
I would like to say that pretty much every animal, not just horses, should be using the Swish, in my opinion, and multiple other opinions that we have here that are using it. It just is so, it makes them very vibrant and it helps them with so many things. It's incredible.
Okay, now tell them how you apply the Swish, because obviously I tried to teach a horse how to swish so he could teach other horses and they could just build their own network. It didn't work. How do you do it?
No, you can't do that. So you put it in a syringe and it obviously talk to your vet before you decide on the dosage, but you put it in a syringe and then you slowly put it in their mouth and they swish their tongue around, trying to get it off their tongue, the same as any other supplement, which is like swishing for them.
Yes, and they are lapping their tongue against their mucosa and absorbing through the mucosa just like people do, as well as sublingually in the venous cavity.
Exactly.
But it's not a syringe with a needle, folks.
Oh,
And
no.
she
Like, yeah, no, it would be like something you would give to like your baby. Like,
Right.
yeah.
And,
we just
and
call
you
it
do
a
it over
syringe.
about a 30-second, 45-second period,
Yeah,
right?
as long as you
Filtration.
possibly can. Yeah, some horses, it's they just take it quickly. It's just because you can't do it slowly for them, but most of them you try and do in between about 30 seconds and a minute if you can.
Okay, now Christy works with horses, so we let her say that. And but we can't wait for the study to be published. When it is, we can summarize some of the highlights and you'll be that much smarter. Because it's
Steve,
pretty,
perfect.
it's a
Steve was going to say a funny, because it's not about our product, but it does assist in making the relevance of what Christy's saying, and Steve said all along, dogs, cats, horses, humans, we're all biological and we all need glutathione. And pre-Numi, there was a friend of ours that had a dog that was really stiff and old and couldn't run, and Steve's previous product, one of our members, not with our advice because it wasn't recommended for animals, happened to put some of that into the dog's mouth. And this dog, the cat used to walk in front of it and do what cats do with their tails and spray on the dog, and the dog would, growl and the cat would walk away. And the day after they gave it to this dog, as soon as the cat came past, this really old gray-haired rickety dog went straight off out down the stairs and ran and chased the cat down the driveway. So this is just an example of what having optimal levels of glutathione can do for anything.
That's awesome.
anyway.
So questions.
Any other questions?
I think we're out of questions, but we're nearly out of time anyway, buddy. So
yeah, I just want to thank all of you that are on. We have Shannon and I are going to be traveling in May. And I'll be coming to Spain, I believe. It's on right now, but currently. I know I'll be coming to Greece, and I can't wait. I get to meet our newest member of our medical board. And I will be in Croatia, and it's possible that we'll be going to Poland. We're hoping for Poland. You know, we do a lot of travel. We want to encourage people, but our company is growing incredibly fast as people's lives are changed. And this is life-changing. And Dr. Nicolopoulos is being blown away every time he looks at another client and their inflammation markers on this product. Doesn't take forever to work. It works very quickly. So thank you, Christy. Thank you for piping up. And if you have a moment, if you could call me at the end of this call, since I'm batching it tonight, I don't have to worry that I'm interfering on any family time. Thank you all. God bless you. Oh, for those of you that care, some of you may not. But we did launch, not Numi, Steve and Sean launched our new website, and I did our first teaching, and it's called knowinghimtoday.org is the website. The first video is on YouTube at Knowing Him Today. I'm trying to think of these things. We are on Facebook, on my Facebook post, and it's a new message. And what we're going to do, we'll be doing a new video at least one a week, maybe two. So if you're interested in growing in your relationship with God, we're here for you. If you have no interest, we love you just as much as we love anybody that is. But God has changed my life. I left atheism at the age of 16 through the teaching of a man named C.S. Lewis, who was one of England's most brightest intellects. And he wrote the book, Narnia Chronicles, Chronicles of Narnia, and Narnia Chronicles, and Screwtape Letters. And of course, he was the chair of medieval literature at Cambridge, and he had chaired a department in philosophy at Oxford. So brilliant, genius man, and his writing turned me from an atheist to a believer that God exists. Now I've had 60 years experience, and oh, have I seen his presence. This whole company exists because of inspiration and God's miraculous hand. Thank you for joining us. I love you and hope to see you soon. There's Ronan. Hey. Okay, Ronan. Thumbs up. Oh, I'm just looking at a picture. You're a still picture. Ronan took us into Israel, and I've known Ronan for many years. So God bless you all. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have many events during the week, starting again next week. This has been a great call, by the way, Steve, being able to ask you questions in a filtered manner so that we don't get crazy questions public, which is good. But ladies and gentlemen, if you do believe in prayer, do us a favor. The Australian coast is just about to be receiving Cyclone Alfred. We seem to be okay here, but people down in Lismore and so forth are already flooding. So just put your prayers out for all of those people across the east coast of Australia. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next